Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening, Nadim. Anybody having any doubt or want to discuss something before we proceed with our present session? If you have anything to get clarified or discuss, we can discuss now. Otherwise, we can start with our session today. Anybody having something to discuss?
One doubt is there, sir. This is Joshi here, sir.
Yes, yes.
This,
Just
this construction technology is there, na? This for the quantity surveying and construction pathway, we have the level 3. This one.
of course.
Now this construction it's covering very vast because it's compiling and lot of things are there. But my SOE is only for the road work and some structure work. My panel will ask questions on same subject, na?
Yes, of course, because it should be from your experience. They cannot
Yes.
ask infrastructure candidate something about buildings. That is not
Okay.
the case. And even in the infrastructure, if you are only into railway, then you only know railway, nothing
Yes.
else. So this is very specific. And even when you come to the quantity surveying pathway, you
Yes.
are not a professional who is doing or making decisions or designing construction technology into your day-to-day work. So you are only taking into account when you are preparing bill of quantities or making some valuation.
Yes.
Those kind of situations only you are using. Other than that,
Yes.
you don't take anything by your own doing design or even though value engineering also, you should not be doing on your own because this is
Yes.
not your responsibility. Your responsibility is verifying the cost for it and
Yes.
to make sure that is executed within the budget and if anything is there like commercial management, you have to make sure profitability. If it is project finance, you have to produce cost reports, cash
Yes.
flow
Yes. Yes.
forecast, and all those things. Other than that, technically, you are not expected to do everything on your own. But at the same time, if you are infrastructure, you should know what are all the elements involved within your bill of quantities. Like how do you go through the details of the elements.
Yes.
So
Yes. That
this
means
construction elements you should be aware of within your practicing
yes.
sector,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
not as holistic because this construction technology mostly it is covering vastly for building and then into infrastructure and then something for the environmental services also.
Yes, 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 yes.
But
Foundations
again,
also. They are going
yes, of
foundations
course.
also.
Yes. When
Foundations,
you say
everything.
building, it is
Uh-huh.
including of foundations. So it will start
Yes,
from
sir.
foundation.
Yes,
And
yes, sir.
if you have no experience and you didn't mention in your SOE, you can say something which you are aware of. Only theoretically, I am aware of this. Other than that, I have
Yes,
no exposure to practically uh, overseeing the execution or making some valuation relevant to that work. If you did something and anything in your case study or summary of experience mentioning about providing advice on particular item, then
yes,
you are expected to discuss that in detail. That is the case.
yes,
Other than that,
yes,
nobody should ask you to explain something which is not in your summary of experience.
yes, yes, sir, yes, sir. And one thing is there, sir. My experience in infrastructure is in Oman only. Now there is a infra roads and bridges and infrastructure works. But same type of work is going in UAE also, Qatar. There is some the differences are there. Maybe
No, that is there, but again, whomever the assessors are there, it is clearly instructed to them that they have to take into consideration the country of practice.
yes, yes, yes,
If you
yes, sir.
are
Yes,
familiar with a certain type of procedures and practices within your area of practice and country of practice, then that is the only thing going to be validated. This is
yes,
about validating your experience, nothing more than that. There is nothing like a quiz program, there is nothing like a complete syllabus. It's not like
Yes,
that.
sir.
It is about what you are writing in your summary of experience. If you are writing something like, I know why we are choosing certain foundation types for buildings, and then if they ask question about what are all the different types of foundations you are aware of, then that is the problem.
Yes,
If
yes,
you
sir. Got
didn't
it, sir.
write in your summary of experience, nobody
Hmm.
should ask you about those things. Even though it may be common for them, it is not common for you because you never worked in that. So you can say, I only work in this type of projects. I'm aware of these things. If you take the bill of quantities, you should be able to identify the items which are covered within your works,
Okay, sir.
deliverables. What are all the
Yes,
items are
delivery.
there? And
Yes, sir.
you
Yes.
may not say that I have no idea what is that. And the earthwork may be measured differently in infrastructure and buildings works, but there is earthwork. So you should be
Yes, yes.
knowing what is earthwork and what are all the underlying conditions. How do you take into consideration of soil report?
Yes.
So those kind of awareness it is expected from you. Nothing more than that.
Okay. Okay, sir.
You may be working in any particular sector only. You have to clearly keep your knowledge, evidence, and details in your summary of experience or case study within your practice. You should
Okay.
not be writing anything other than that. If you write, even though if you made mistake by something, you want to say that one, you can declare when you go to the interview because I mentioned this thing that is by mistake, but I never worked in that one. So that one you can do if before proceeding with the interview. Some of the chairperson they will ask you some. They don't ask you. Generally they will ask, "How about you? You want to say something? You can say."
Yes, yes, sir.
I
Yes.
have a concern because when I write, because I took general details from the pathway guide and I put something, but that is not my practice area. So only these are my practice area. That one you can declare. Even at least you don't declare in the beginning when they go into the construction technology and environmental services, they will announce
Yes, sir.
before entering into that competency discussion. So that time you
Yes, sir.
can mention that this is the thing. I have some unwanted or maybe by mistake I mentioned those things in my summary of experience, but I
Yes.
never had experience in them.
Yes.
So that is okay. That is well and good.
And this panel now we are also when we are enrolling with RICS, we are also submitting our CV. This panel is also going through our CV also.
No, CV and all they will not go through. What you are
Okay.
writing in your
Yes, we only.
online portal, like
Yes.
summary of experience and in your employment history, what you are filling within the
Yes.
assessment panel. If you
Yes.
go to the assessment resource panel, there you will be filling your employment history. In
Yes,
that,
sir.
if
Yes,
you
sir.
are detailing something that I worked in this projects, then they may know some of the things you have been working, not immediately, maybe in the earlier things. So you can try to recall something. If not possible, you can say no, that was very long time ago. Recently, I have been working these kind of projects only, so I can discuss in detail about these items. Like that, you can mention. You
Okay.
have to be clearly giving them the details. Otherwise, if you keep quiet and if there are some hints in your employment history or summary of experience or CPD record or even in your case study you are discussing something that you are giving advice or you are making some recommendation, those things are the area where they take questions from. So that has to be clearly mentioned to them before they start discussing something. Once they start asking you something, after that if you mention, it won't be nice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So again, today's competency we are going to discuss is about construction technology and environmental services, and we will be touching leading projects, people, and teams. That is also parts of construction management. So it will be interrelated, but specifically that is about management. This is about technology and services. Although we will go through some of the questions standard that is common for building, and again I am mentioning you, it is up to your summary of experience. There is no certain like RACS has some syllabus. You have to study all those things. Nothing like that. It cannot be a common ground for all the candidates. So it's only the basis is your own submissions. Although we discuss something in common, you go through your summary of experience and try to cover what are all available within your summary of experience, like keywords and especially the advices which you are providing or recommendation you made in your examples of project examples, particularly level 3 and level 2. Maybe if you don't do well in level 3 or level 2, then only they will go down to level 1. Otherwise, mostly if they are happy with your demonstration of level 3, then they will move on to next competency. That is the common procedure. Although some of the assessors, they just want to build the questions from level 1, but most experienced one, they will go directly to level 3 and verify, because the time constraint is there. Within 30-35 minutes, they have to cover all the competencies. Otherwise, it will not be fair to judge you. That's why they try to cover all the competencies, particularly core and optional. Even though the mandatory, it is fine if you are writing at level 1, only the written submission is fair and sufficient. They will proceed with only core and optional. And of course, client care, health and safety, and ethics, professionalism, that is for sure they will cover, because that is at different level. Only the level 1 competencies which are in the mandatory, they may skip if they are satisfied with the written submission, and some of the things they can take it from other core competencies like sustainability practices. If you are touching something into your construction technology or somewhere in the commercial management about life cycle costing, yes, it's well and good to keep it, just ignoring these things. And again, some of the legislation like disability in your construction technology, that is also, it is helpful for them to avoid questioning in the mandatory competency. So that is also there. So we will proceed with this questions sample based on the available details, but still you can discuss anything that you are particularly wanted to discuss. It is well and good, we can discuss. We see some of the questions from here, like construction technology and environmental services at level 1. They may ask about substructures, like what are the primary functions of a building substructure? Anybody can try to answer. This is at level 1.
Substructure, superstructure. Good evening.
Yes, this is about substructure. So what is the primary functions of substructure? Is it visible which I am displaying this presentation?
Transfer of
Yes, yes, sir. Visible, sir.
building
Visible.
loads
Yeah.
to the.
Yes, please. Yes, Joshi.
No, sir.
The primary function is to transfer the load of the superstructure to the ground level
Okay. So to transfer the load,
of the superstructure.
anything else?
To provide the stability to the building.
Yes, stability. That is the case. So transferring the load and as well as keeping it stable, because stability is the main purpose within the substructure that has to hold still. Otherwise, it will be difficult during the future. Any settlement or any different things occurring in the environment. So that is the purpose. Other than that, if you have any details, particularly about the soil report and basement requirement, like you have the basement floors, then only the different things going to come. Other than that, the major thing is that one is transferring your load. The other one is stability of the structure, the main structure, superstructure. That has to be maintained. Yes, please.
Sir, when we answer the questions like level 1, do we need to give some points, like 4-5 points we have to discuss, or we just tell them 1 or 2 only?
No, that is fine, because if you know, like we are having some other questions like different type of foundations, then you may go in detail. Like if you have more things, then you may go in details. Other than that, whenever they presented with a question straightforward, it is asking the purpose. If you give the clear answer, then you can keep it there. Otherwise, if the assessor is keeping quiet and he is listening to you, you just see how he is appearing. Uh, Try to build some detail over that. That is always well and good. That will give you that you will take up the time, and this will reduce the other questioning time. So you should not stop by yourself in any stage, because when you say what is the primary function, transferring the load and again stability, so those kind of what kind of things are considered in the design details. If you know something, you can go and explain. Like you will see the stability, the wind, seismic. You can say so many powers which are there. And again, when you say the settlement, underground soil, how it is a loose soil, it is stable, rock, or hard. What kind of soil nature is there? So these are the things that comes for the stability. So you can start explaining. That is well and good. Always it is good to keep on going until the assessor himself is moving forward to next question. In any level, if you have something to tell, please go ahead. Don't stop by yourself.
Thank you, sir.
Like describe different types of shallow foundation. Here you can go in detail. So what are all the different type of shallow foundations are you aware of?
Pad foundation,
isolated
strip
footing,
foundation,
footing, draft
raft
foundation.
foundation.
Yes, raft, strip, isolated. Is there anything else?
Strip isolated.
Yes, that is well and good. Okay. You can say some of the things like combined footing, this isolated it itself, it will come in combinations, combined footing, or you can keep explaining when you will choose something like that. Yes, of course, there is nothing to say. If you are going 2, 3 examples, that is fine, well and good. You can move ahead. You can keep quiet also if you want to. Otherwise, if you want to give further details, you can give.
Type of piling used in construction.
Yes, what are all the types, main types? When it comes to the piling types, there are n number of types are there based on the material, based on the installation, based on the load bearing or load transferring.
Transparent
So,
load.
so many things are there. Yes, of course. So, give some types. Anybody, please?
Deep foundation. You asking deep foundation?
Yes, yes. Deep piling means it is deep foundation
found.
only.
In
Yes.
bearing,
Yes.
friction, in
Yes, of
bearing
course.
plus, in bearing plus friction. These
Of
three, no?
course. Yes, that is based on the load
Transfer
transferring.
load.
And again, there is
Material-wise-
material. Material wise, you have
Timber,
wooden,
timber,
concrete,
yeah.
steel.
Timber,
That
steel,
one
concrete,
you
steel.
have. Yes. Again, when you go to the driven, it is
Driven
driven.
found.
Yes. So those
Method
kind of.
installation. No?
Yes, yes. That's what I am telling. So when they say main types of, you can say directly which you are familiar with, because they didn't go with specific either material type or load transfer type or installation type. They are not specific. So it's up to you which you have mentioned in your summary of experience, or you give evidence of your knowledge. That is important. So superstructure, what are the main structural elements of a building superstructure? So what are all the usual elements are there in your superstructure?
Column, wall,
Yes.
beam, roof,
Okay. Okay.
cladding.
Parapet wall.
Okay. Parapet wall.
Facade.
Facade, of course. I guess when we say again structural elements means most probably it is about
Column beam,
which is coming in your superstructure. So it is column, beam, slabs,
slab, wall.
wall if they are, of course. So foundations, we are having it in the substructure. Superstructure, there won't be, I hope, no foundations. You said something else, or you are mentioning foundation, Dennis?
No, sir. I just want, the foundation is also for the stability. So I thought
Yes, yes.
foundation
Okay,
maybe.
Yes, yes, of course. Okay, so usually these are the things. But again, facade, when it comes, you have the structural elements to keep steel structure for the facade. If they are load bearing, you are designing. Yes, of course, this is coming under the structural elements. And some of the elements like they don't come under the thing. It will go to the masonry or finishes, fixtures, those kind of thing. So under the floor structure, describe common types of floor structures in the buildings.
Steel structure, concrete, like this.
Tile floors, carpet, vinyl, marble, concrete finish.
Okay. Because again,
Raised floor,
it will
raised
start
floor
with structure.
system.
So structure, it is the slab system, and again anything like this kind of raised
Timber deck.
floor system also it will come. Yes. So those kind of any if you are having like void filling, that is also some flooring system. So floor structures means which is carrying your floor finishes. So not directly the finishes itself.
So
So
prefabrication, right, sir?
of course, yes,
Prefabricated
of course. So
concrete.
prefabricated concrete also it will come under the structures. You can have those things also installed directly over the beams and columns. So external walls, windows and doors. What are the primary functions of external walls in a building? External walls, not internal wall. What is the primary function of external walls in a building?
For the protection of the protection from dampness.
To protect from the thermal.
Okay, protect from thermal, weather, thermal, anything else?
It can be also structural for the stability, right, sir?
Yes, some of the things it can be because it is on the peripheral. So it can be structural also.
Load bearing element.
Yes. What else could be?
Higher
Provides
protection.
controlled environment. Provides controlled environment for the internal structure.
Yes, controlled environment, that is temperature, rain, wind, all kind of environment. It is giving protection like dampness or thermal wind. Yes, of course. What? Why do you want to have a wall first around the building? Regardless of all thermal and
Protection.
these things. Protection, security.
Sorry, security. Yeah.
Security. So external wall cannot be something like internal, like a gypsum board partition and all you cannot do on the external because that will not give you security. So security also one of the main functioning requirement of the external wall. So cladding and glazing. What are the main purpose of cladding on a building exterior? This is cladding. So don't assume as glazing only. This is cladding. So what is the main purpose of cladding on the building's exterior?
Aesthetic view.
Okay.
Thermal protection.
Yes, of
Heat
course. Added
protection.
thermal protection.
Heat protection also.
Yes, thermal and heat are
Sustainability. Yeah. For sustainability.
sustainability, that you may get another question why you want to mention sustainability. They will ask. So you have to give some example then. Because added protection for all the thermal and these things and the aesthetic, of course, it is there for cladding, particularly for aesthetic. Because otherwise you will have the brick or black work directly plastered or those kind of things.
Then we can say aesthetic and thermal protection. Is this the major two?
That is the main. Yes, of course. Because sustainability, when you go into further detail, yes, of course, sustainability also it can be there, but that is not
for
the
lighting purpose also. This
because lighting we cannot say lighting that is for when we go to the glazing you can say lighting purpose and all. But here when we mention about cladding, it can be any type of cladding like stone cladding is there, marble, granite and wood and timber. Many cladding are there. It is not only like curtain wall and those kind of systems. Okay, so we don't want to go particular deviation. So keep common things only. So main purpose is aesthetic and added additional protection, of course. So that environmental thermal or those kind of protection you are getting from cladding. So when we mention the glazing, what are all the different types of glazing used in building? Any idea? Anybody?
Door windows and curtain panels.
Stick system.
Stick system, when you mention curtain wall, then you can mention what different type of curtain wall. First you have to go to curtain wall. That is also the curtain wall system is the entire system, but when we specifically mentioning glazing,
Yeah, there is
so
a
what is
stick system and unit system,
okay?
spider system,
Okay.
spider system. These three I know.
Yes, those are the things for the curtain wall, and you can mention glazing. It is the systems you can mention, but particularly when you just want to mention about the glazing, so you have to
Or
mention
glazing,
about you have
thermal
the double
conductivity
glazing,
or UV
triple glazing,
double. Okay.
acoustic insulation. You have like there will be wide, it will be there. So space between the two panes, three panes, triple glazing, double glazing, and you have the acoustic insulation is there, thermal insulation, low emissivity, low E glass are there, and heat transfer glass is there, solar control glass is there. So which is minimize solar gain. So those kind of different type of glasses. So you can mention the items by glass types. Like usually we do double glazing. If at all we are not going for triple, usual curtain wall that has double glazing. So these two glass planes or panes, it has space between. So you don't want the space to wobble when there is huge wind and your curtain wall panel size is huge. Then due to wind it will wobble. So you don't want it to be wobbling. You will fill with something in between. So you will have some sort of silicon material, those kind of filling will be there. So acoustic thermal filling you can use in between. So those kind of protection also possible to achieve. And when we go to the windows and doors, describe different types of doors based on their function and material.
Wooden
Double door,
steel door,
single door, sliding door,
aluminum door,
Okay, that is material. Function.
Fire rated,
sliding door.
non-fire rated.
fire rated,
Yes, fire
non-fire
rated and
acoustical,
non-fire rated.
acoustical.
Acoustic.
Because
Hello, yes, please. Someone was mentioning at the end something different.
Swing door, sliding doors.
Yes, sliding door, because these are also it is coming as functioning. So swing there, sliding is there, revolving is there. So you can mention those things. So different types means
Swing
based on
and sliding.
functions and yes, please.
Answer wise, we can say swing and sliding, no?
Yes, yes, swing, sliding, revolving doors also there.
Revolving
Yes,
there, yeah.
yes, you can mention.
Material, wooden, and
Yes,
we can say aluminium,
aluminum,
steel.
steel is there. So you can mention this material type. That is fine. So mostly level one, they don't probe more in detail because only they will ask certain things. Usually when you don't do well at level three or level two, then only level one questions you may expect. If the assessors are new, they are also fresh, then they may start building from level one. So they are comfortable to start with level one and probe further. In those cases, they used to go where they want to ask a different level of questions. When they say like fire rated, then they will ask about how do you decide fire rating for different areas of a building, like residential building. So you have fire rating requirements for certain areas differently. So where do you give fire rated? Where do you give non-fire rated? So you can say bath, toilet, these are non-fire rated. You don't need to protect them because usually they are wet area. And kitchen, of course, you want to have on the main door. That is you want to have. These are the civil defense requirements. So regulatory requirements you have mainly for main door and kitchen. And as well as if you have multiple bedrooms, they will ask a certain level of fire rating. That is also there. So those kind of that will go to level 2 question if they are asking about how do you apply different fire rating for different area. So here again this building regulations and code. What is the purpose of building regulations? Why do we have building regulations? Because you are going to construct, your employer going to give the requirements, consultant going to give the details, you are going to build it. So what is the purpose of having regulations from the governments and authorities? Dennis, you are from employer's representative.
Yeah, sure. to give a standardization
Yes,
and quality,
yes,
best quality.
yes. So to give best quality and standard, and to give minimum safety and security.
Regulation habitability for users, is it okay? Habitability for users
Yes, of course.
and safety. Yeah.
Because yes, so that is also there. So you have to give those kind of safety and security, habitability. That is also there. And again, we have the next. If you see what is the primary aim of disability legislation in context of building design, why do they have disability legislation?
Sir, so that everyone can feel welcome to the
Yes,
environment or the buildings.
yes. Because when you design the public building, it should be accessible by different, differently abled people. Maybe they are disabled based on so many things. So again, this will be covered in inclusive environment, but they can
Inclusive
ask you
environment.
in this because they don't want to go to inclusive environment separately. They may ask some questions in construction technology, so they will conclude it here. So you have this one also on regulation. You have this universal design code from UAE as well as Dubai, and in Qatar also they adopted the same type. So you have to check whether there is something in your area for this kind of differently abled people. What are all the different provisions you provide in your building that are supporting the disability legislation? Anything?
The disabled
Items,
toilets,
disabled toilets,
the ramps actually,
ramps with the handrails,
handrails. I think that these
and
two.
when you go to the parking, you have minimum number of parking designated for disabled people, and that is also closer to the entry point. Because if you are having so much of parking, the disabled should be very closer to the entry point. So
If they
those kind of
asking
you have the
primary
parking.
aim, if they
Yeah.
asking primary aim, we can say inclusive environment, no?
Yes, of course.
Purpose.
That is the purpose. You can say inclusive environment. That is the motive because it is to make your building inclusive. That is the primary aim. So you can say in that one word. How do you achieve that? So what are some of the examples you can add up as it was asked? So you can keep
Lit.
continuing with the details which you feel appropriate. So you don't need to stop by yourself. So that is well and good. Go ahead and give more details. Like you can mention about braille in the lift and tactile flooring, public addressing system, visible displays, sign. So those kind of things you can mention. That is well and good. So let us move on to now level 2. Explain how the choice of piling type might be influenced by different soil conditions. Anybody want to try? Nobody working in buildings or what? Everybody infrastructure. Nobody wants to try. Okay, so type of soil, it significantly dictates the suitability of different, you want to say piling methods, or particularly you are taking soft clay or silts, friction piles, which rely on frictional resistance between the pile surface and the surrounding soil, might be preferred. Conversely, in areas with the dense sands and gravels, overly a weak uh, stratum, then end-bearing piles, which transfer the load to the stronger layer at depth, could be more appropriate. Okay, so this is for method of file. If you don't want to go that much, if you have
Can
well
you
stable
explain?
soil, yes,
Excuse me.
yes,
Can you explain NBRM file and friction file difference? This one just
yes, because this is level 2. You can explain. Of course, you can explain what are all the particular applications are there in your knowledge. Why do you want to choose for the stability also? Again, that is also going to keep. If loose soil, the friction will not be sufficient enough. Then what you will do? Either you want to improve the soil treatments, soil improvements, you have to do. Otherwise, it won't be sufficient on the loose soil to keep the building stable. So in what situations might a concrete frame be preferred over a steel frame for a multi-story office building, and why? Now they mentioned multi-story office building. So it can be taken into as since they are asking you to advise. So it can be level 3 also, but just taking it as a level 2, it is up to the assessor how they move with your discussion, whether they start from top or bottom. You can see from the first competency itself. So how do you decide you want concrete framework instead of steel framework in a office building, multi-story office building?
If this is shorter span, we can use the concrete frame. If it is a long span, we have to use the steel frame.
Okay, that is design oriented. Okay, what else? That is also a valid point.
Might be also availability of the specialized subcontractor.
Availability of specialized subcontractor. Okay.
Lifetime is more concrete. Cost is less concrete.
It's not cost is less or more. We are not sure of which is less or more, because concrete, when you go to the longer spans, the structure size going to be more, and you will incur more concrete and more cost. If it is shorter span, it can be lesser. And again, if you are using something like post-tension slab or those kind of precast panels, it will be cheaper also. Hollow core also cheaper.
Life
So
cycle
it will be the main purpose when you go to the concrete. It is always what is the weak in the steel. That is the question. So you have to decide based on the weakness of the steel, not about design details. We are not speaking about design details. When you choose something, always you have to choose. If you want to choose over steel concrete, then what is the weakness of steel?
Routine. Life cycle. Then we need to consider life cycle, no? Building life
Don't
cycle.
say something life cycle. It is a broad term. Something shorter. The first thing is fireproofing. When the location or the things which is there, it is more requiring fireproof. The steel is weaker in fire resistant. Concrete is more fire resistant. So in that situation, you will go for concrete. Again, if the wind, it is closer to the seashore or some sort of things, rusting, although you give so much of protection, there are joints. If there are loose some gaps, automatically the rust will form and automatically the steel will rot to very early than expected. Those kind of situations. So you have to consider the first thing is fire resistant. The second one is atmosphere. The atmosphere, if you can give enough protection for steel or not. That is the question. So these two options, then you can go. Yes, of course, these are covered under the life cycle. Although this is life cycle, it is the broader term. It is not addressing the primary weaknesses of steel for the concrete. So you have to go to the point. That's why. Of course, these two, they are giving the lifespan. What is the lifespan of expected lifespan of the building? So that is the different thing. So we should not go in a broader.
Maintenance cost is less. Concrete is maintenance cost is less.
Of course, that is also there. And again, constructability in you don't have a specific. That means if you are keeping the same design in each floor, the faster will be steel frame. But each and every floor are having different shapes and types, then automatically concrete will be more economic than steel, because you cannot take some curved arc, those kind of shapes, achievability, aesthetic appearance and all. If you are having so much of things that can be done with concrete than in steel, because that will be costlier in steel.
Also, can we say that if the owner want the facility to be constructed in a shorter period, then we can prefer steel structure, because
of course, but yes, of course, if he is preferring in shorter duration, yes, steel is well and good. When they ask which one you approve or which one you recommend, then that is the question comes whether you go for steel or concrete. Here, they are clearly asking the question, instead of steel, you are going for concrete. Why? So we have to answer to the question. If the assessor is asking something like this, if you are not sure, you have to ask again what he was expecting.
This one we
In
need to
this
go to up
situation.
to level 3, no?
Yes, you
This
can go
question
up
we
to
need to
level
go-
3. That's why in the beginning
Oh, sir,
itself, I
sir.
told you it can go up to level 3. So if you keep building the scenario, it will go up to level 3. Next, explain how different cladding materials might affect the fire safety strategy of a building. What are the different cladding materials you are aware of? We have stone cladding, timber cladding, aluminum composite panel. So how it is going to affect the fire safety strategy of a building? Any idea about, we had this fire accident recently, that is particularly in UAE, but somewhere else, because they change civil defense fire safety regulations for aluminum composite panels. What is the class required? They changed it, the minimum requirement after that. Because this is very critical when you have the building rapid fire possibility is on the surface of that means in the facade only. When the fire catches, it will spread through floors, usually in the facade, not through the slab, because slab it will be protecting each floor. But on the facade, if it is catching up, it will go from bottom to top rapidly. That is the possibility when it comes to the facade of the building. The cladding material, you have to be very specific how you are going to provide fire barriers or cavity barriers when you are designing the cladding. If it is stone cladding, you don't need to worry because it is going to be added protection for everything. Fire resistance, it is going to be there. If it is timber or ACP, of course, you have to have different types of, that's what this spacing and all fire barrier and cavity barriers and all you have to design in order to avoid it is spreading rapidly. So again, be clear, this is construction technology. Whichever I am giving here example, you don't need to memorize or take into consideration unless you are working on buildings and you have it in your summary of experience. Other than that, you can clearly ignore these things. You don't need to worry. If you are working in infrastructure or you don't even touch these kind of things in your experience, well and good. You don't need to worry. Just for knowledge, you take it, and if you can remember, well and good. Otherwise, you can forget. How might the orientation of a building influence the specification of windows and glazing? Orientation, direction. Any
Then we
idea?
have to
Yes,
remember,
yes.
sir, then we have to remember the solar energy, right? Because
Yes, of
that's
course.
why how they oriented the buildings.
Yes, of
Because,
course. That is the
for
primary.
example, yeah, exactly. That's why that, but I'm really surprised that in Dubai they are using too much glazing. It should be much more closed, actually, because of the
Course.
sun, right?
Yes, because that
Just to,
will give
exactly.
more energy consuming for keeping
ACs,
it cool.
basically.
Yes,
Yes,
AC. Because you need more air conditioning than if you are protecting it with lesser openings, automatically you will reduce so much of energy. Unfortunately, for aesthetic purpose, they just want glazing. So
exactly. Yeah.
of course, they can avoid these kind of things. They can use traditional Arabic channels and mashrabia kind of designs in the facade that will give added protection. It
That's
is
why they are
some
using
sort of,
double
yeah.
glass, no? Double
So
glass.
double glass you are using, but again, double glass, how much it will protect? There is some thermal conductivity. So what is the possibility of having that much? That is the question. So why do you want to go and invest so much in that? Because everyone, even from your home, you know very well the AC is the most electrical consumption than any other thing. Like if you are having some sort of electrical equipments or light fittings, everything will be lesser than the air conditioning. So air conditioning is the prime factor for the energy efficiency. Of course, we have triple glazing also, low thermal conductivity, All these things are there. But the thing is that how far this thermal protection is there. Any idea?
Is it related with U value, sir?
Yes, U value, of course.
Yeah.
The thermal conductivity is the U value.
Yeah.
So you can have this solar reflection index also. When you have, even in the roof, we are doing that. And even in the surface, if it is mirrored glass or having some surface treated to reflect the light, then it will reduce the penetration. That is also possible. Okay. So this is mainly the window is and glazing, all these things for solar alignment, especially for the solar energy and the thermal conductivity. We have to decide how much windows or glazing we are going to do and how it is going to affect the other designs like lighting. If you are reducing the window size, automatically you have to use lights in the day also, not only in the night. So you have to use, if you are not in the peripheral of the building and the rooms are inside, the building has no sunlight or daylight passing through the windows, then you have to rely on electrical energy. So how can the type of glazing used in high-rise building impact its structural design? Anybody had any experience or opportunity to look into these kind of things? Any idea? Nobody? Because this is like a wind load, particularly when you go to the glazing, how much wind load is there? Because it is high rise. If you go up and up, the wind will be heavy. So you have to have good design to withstand significantly for the wind load, which increases with the height also, height of the panels and the height of the building. Large expansions of glazing, such as in curtain wall system, can exert considerable pressure on supporting the frame. So even if you are keeping on the frame, if it is wobbling due to heavy wind, then it may not stay stable. That is also the problem. Therefore, you have to use the type and thickness of the glass as well as the design of the framing. So that's why the curtain wall frames and all very costly, and they have still in UAE we are using so many things that is produced in Europe, especially from German Chuko kind of things we are using. So why do we use? Because this requires specific design to withstand significant wind load in high-rise buildings, as well as we have the sandstorm and all. So this sand also it try to penetrate through the frames. So it has to filter and allow you to avoid this kind of things passing through the frames and getting into the building. So that is also one of the purpose. And again, these things, how you are going to fix over the beams and columns, whether this is directly going to be loaded onto the, or you need a specific additional steel frames to take the load of this glazing and frames. That is also steel structure also required. So structural engineer has to decide based on the stability requirement, including the wind forces. So next, if we see at level 3, advise a client on selection of partitioning system for a flexible office space that requires frequent reconfiguration considering acoustics, fire safety, and ease of installation. Anybody want
Drywall,
to try?
sir? Drywall.
Drywall partitioning, that is fixed. Here the main concern is that you are going to reconfiguration frequently. Is it okay drywall you can do?
High rated gypsum partition maybe better compared to the
No,
other
that
ones.
is gypsum partition is the drywall.
I forgot the name. There was
Operable
because we
partition.
are using basically in the meeting rooms that you can open and then again close it. It's very thick walls. Yeah.
So usually it is
It is.
flexible demountable partitioning or movable partitioning. So it is hanging partitioning. You have so many things are there which can be reconfigured. The spacing of the offices or meeting rooms, you have the flexibility of moving them. And again, the material used in the composite panels that is used for demountable partitioning or hanging partitioning and all, acoustic performance, fire resistance, and they can be installed and reconfigured without any trouble. Of course, drywall partitioning also there, but that has to be used in a framework, not directly mounting to the floor and ceiling.
Glass partition.
Yes, glass partition also
High
you
pressure
can do
laminate.
if you can move the framework.
Cement board. Cement board.
No, cement board and all, it is permanent. Cement board you cannot, that is
Movable
heavy
partition.
also. Yes, when you say movable partition, cement board is very heavy for moving purposes, and it is very fragile for handling also. It will get damaged easily than other items. You can say
HPL.
this, yes.
HPL partition. High
Yes,
pressure
that can
laminate.
be done. Yes, that is also is good for that.
What about wooden partition?
Of course, wooden partitions we can use. That is acoustic. It is very good
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
for meeting rooms, for aesthetic appearance. You want to prefer, that is the wooden partitions are well and good. When you have the frames, you can move, or foldable wooden partitions also available. That is also good.
Glass partition also good.
That's what, when you use the glass partitions, the framework should be movable.
Yeah.
You have to have the system of folding or moving framework. That is very important when you use glazing. And it has to be safe glasses, like a tempered glass.
What about melamine paste chipboard?
Yes, that is also well and good.
But
you can
this
use.
fire safety?
No, that's what the purpose of the location you have to decide how you are going to use. If you are going to use it for regular office works for longer duration, then that cannot be used. But if it is some sort of different meeting rooms, you are rearranging the meeting rooms to make it larger and smaller, then it is well and good because it is temporary. Most probably you will keep them folded to the side and keep it away. Yes. So here again another question: advise a client on the most appropriate type of piling for a high-rise building on a site with variable soil conditions, considering cost, program, and potential risk. Yes, somebody started and then stopped. Yes, Ravindra.
Environment file is good because this one going to rock, no?
Yes.
Filing.
Yes. But here when you say the conditions here, of course that is end bearing is there. Now they are mentioning variable soil conditions. So you have to tell them, if I have some solid layer or something available to keep the end bearing, then you can suggest that one. Otherwise, if it is not reachable, then end bearing cannot be used. So you have to say in different soil conditions. Here they are mentioning variable soil conditions. That means it can be anything. It may be loose soil, clay type of things. It may be wet soil closer to the seashore, or it may be in the rocky areas, gravels. So what sort of soil, which one you are suggesting? So you have to tell 2-3 options here, and you have to tell which piling type will be better for which one. So you have to tell same like that. If the soil is like this, I will take this friction. And if it is like this, I will use end bearing. And how it is going to affect your cost and program, and what sort of potential risk are there. Because when you do the soil testing, you will do it for 2-3 places or maximum 5-6 based on the area. You don't even know exactly where the solid layer is occurring. Maybe some places it may occur in your tested zones, in other zones it may not be occur in the expected depth. So the depth may be unknown in each and every location. So we have to be careful when taking into consideration. So that's why usually they used to do the test piles. They will try to install in some of the areas and check, and then they reconsider the design and go ahead with those things. They will allow sufficient timing to do the testing and all before proceeding with the complete installation of the piling. That is also important. Again, cost. You can transfer the risk to the contractor by giving the design details, and you are just keeping it by numbers instead of mentioning the depth or thickness of the pile, just by numbers, and the load they have to carry and stability what you want to achieve. So that's all. So you can transfer the risk to the, that means you are not giving complete details. You are allowing the subcontractor to design and develop. So taking the risk. So that kind of enabling contractor, he will be doing the design and verify and then execute the work. Okay. So advise a client on selection of partitioning system for a flexible, I think this one, I think we did already. Okay, I think we have seen most of the questions from construction technologies. If you want to discuss anything particularly, you can ask if you have something in your summary of experience, specific items. Yes, Aswin.
Yes, sir. Sir, I just want to ask, like, regarding this construction technology,
Yes,
if
please.
we are an MEP QS, actually, so
Of
all this
course.
question goes related to an MEP construction technology perspective, or we should know the basics of this, what we are discussing throughout this, maybe an hour or so, actually.
No. That's what
Mm,
in the initial I
mm,
mentioned it. So it
mm,
is not common for everyone. If you are MEP and you do only the MEP works, you can
mm,
say specifically. And even if you are an electrical engineer and doing only electrical installations, you can be specific. You are well and good with the details. Then you will be asked questions from the electrical systems. How do you do lux calculation? How do you decide different type of lighting? On what sort of life cycle costing you are doing for lighting systems? Energy efficiency, how do you achieve with lighting, different lighting, like movement sensor, where you are having very limited movement and only lighting is required when there is movement. So you can have the movement sensor. So that will reduce the lighting kept on unnecessarily. So those kind of things you can give, and they will be asking about how it will impact the design when you are having the conduits. What sort of conduits you will be using on different slab type. Maybe they will ask if you are very familiar with the electrical things. They may ask about the conduiting, different types of conduiting. They may ask you, and
So
how it is
basically,
calculated in the
so basically,
wiring.
all these
Yes,
construction technology is based on our expertise only, like
yes.
how in which
Where
we are.
you have the practice and the experience, only those areas will be tested. Nothing more than that.
Okay, done. Okay, sir. Right, sure.
Because
Thank you. Thanks.
you should have not written something that you know different
Which
filing
we are not
system.
done actually.
Yes.
Okay.
So you should not be writing those things in your summary of experience. By mistake, if you have written and you are appearing for the interview, when they announce next is construction technology and environmental services, tell them that when you look into the pathway guide, you thought it has to be included and then you put something here. But these are not your regular area of practice and you only work in these segments or in this sector. Like that, you have to clearly mention them.
I think we
Then
need to
only they
know
will be.
Okay.
EIFS system, no?
Thank you, sir. Right.
EIFS
Yes.
superstructure, exterior insulation and pressure system.
Yes, of
Can
course,
they?
that can be done. That
It is super
that is for the external.
energy
Yes,
efficiency.
yes,
It is super
for
energy efficiency,
energy.
no? By
Of course,
reducing thermal bridging.
yes.
Do we
You
need to
can do those
explain
kind.
like this thing? They will can they ask?
No. Because if you don't write in your summary of experience something, and that is not common, they cannot ask you each and everything. You have so much of construction technology. How could someone like a pure quantity surveyor, like a okay, some of us are coming from civil engineering background. We work as a site engineer and project engineer. Then we will move on to either planning or project management or quantity surveying. We move from there. So we have the practical experience in many of the construction technology. That too in the particular sector. When you are coming from quantity surveying qualification, just you did your undergraduation in quantity surveying, how someone can expect from you each and every detail like that? I am asking HVAC. So if I am asking what is the tonnage, how do you answer? Okay, I'm asking about the intelligent building management system. What is BMS? How do you automatically control the energy efficiency? So those kind of operational things like services, you can't know. That is impossible. Same like that. Okay, I'm asking one landscaping expertise is there. I will ask him like, what is the way to incorporate sustainable drainage systems. So this is the latest trend. So sustainable drainage system is there. I cannot ask that one SUDS. I will ask you that one and you will not be answering. Okay, someone was asking what is cat E or cat C. You have any idea? Okay, farm work. Some of the people they know about farm work in depth. What are all the different type of farm work? There is one farm work called jumping. Are you aware of?
Jumping.
Yes. So don't worry about a level 1 question. These are level 1 questions. Nobody going to ask you unless you mention those areas are your regular practice. You are expected to understand what is there in the elements like structural elements. What is substructure? What is superstructure?
But
What
I
are all
think
different
firefighting system,
elements?
we need to know, I think
Okay.
firefighters.
How do you
Active
know? How do you know? I'm asking you, how do you know?
Because this safety, no? Safety we
It is
should be aware, no?
safety. It is safety. Safety means
Building
you have
safety.
an entire civil defense, fire and life safety guide. Are you aware of that? Did you go through them? For handrail, I'm asking. Okay, fire safety, leave it. Handrail load bearing. What is the minimum requirement of load for handrail?
This is designed, no? It's
Of course,
coming under
everything
design.
is designed. Firefighting also design. So how do you achieve firefighting? Do you know FM200 how it is functioning? Where do you use sprinkler? Where do you use FM200? Any idea?
We can say active, this one like active firefighting system, no? We can,
Yes, of course, this is firefighting system. So why do you use in something in some places, in other thing in other places?
it is coming that FM200 is coming specialized gas.
Why do you want to use it?
Like this pumping station project they are using, no? FM2000.
Yes, of course, they are using. Why do they use in certain areas, in the services areas, not in other areas? Of course, in the office also, if you use the water, it will damage all the papers and file. You can use gas there also. Why do you want to use water sprinklers in the office? You don't take seriously about each and every detail. You be specific, which is your clear knowledge and understanding, and say, I only these things. What even the rule 1 and rule 2, what it says about your responsibility, ethics, Ravindra?
Rule 1, honesty. Second, rule wise unit, members and firm must be honest, act with integrity, comply their
Be
professional.
honest. That's what I am telling. If you don't know, tell them this is not my area of practice. Be honest. You don't need to pretend know all. Nobody know all.
ethics.
Even the chartered professionals, they are not going to be expert in each and everything. You may be expert even if you go to the contract practice or quantification and costing. You know everything. I'm asking you, okay, you are a quantity surveyor. How many books are there in the black book?
Black book 22.
Huh?
22 item. This books are there, no? 22.
How many are there
procurement
practice
management,
statements?
contract administration.
How many there are there in the guidance level? How many are there informative? Everything mandatory?
All are informative, no?
All
22.
are informative? No.
Contract administration, procurement and tendering, risk management.
All informative? Guidance or guidance, of course. But informative, what is informative? What are the different status of the documents?
It is given guidance how to procurement and tendering, contract administration.
Yes, go on. Guidance. Then, Ravindra?
I know only this books. How many books? Just I keep them and only.
So that's what. Even which is primary for us as a quantity surveyor, black book, you should be working day to day using this guidance. But still we don't know. So don't worry about that. You have to pretend
but we should
you know everything
regarding how many books. No
need. Even the RACs won't allow the assessor to ask such question. It is.
I saw one
is
question.
this That's what I am
And
telling. This is really you. Do you think this is level 3 question?
no, no.
So where
This
they
is
can
just
ask this question? This is level 1
level one.
question. If
Level 1
you
question.
perform level 3 and you don't answer level 1, they have to consider you pass or fail.
Right.
So you focus on functioning element of the knowledge. Don't go into like knowledge is keep on updating. It is keep on changing. Even the status of each guidance note is getting changed every now and then, and they get updated. So same like that. You have so much of construction technology. Nobody know. Even the construction manager wouldn't know. So why do we have to know all these things? It is not required. Only in such an examples which you touch in your summer of experience and case study, that is the area they can ask you question. If you know about, I know about RJ45 and Ethernet cabling, then they may ask you what is Cat 6. Cat 6A means what? Cat 6E means what? And Cat 8 also it came, I think, already. So those kind of questions, it is not mandatory for us. Maybe I think Ashwin, he can give some examples from services. So don't take seriously about so much of level 1 knowledge. Level 1 knowledge like ethics, some of the people they are asking about who is in this uh, position, who is in that position. We have how many presidents are there in RACS?
Now we have acting president, no? Nicholas.
Yes.
Mr. Nicholas.
Yes. So who
previously Justin Sullivan, president.
Okay.
Acting president is now Nicholas McLean.
Okay, he is who? He is acting for whom?
Acting president. For Justin Sullivan, this president, elected president. Elected president is Justin Sullivan, but acting president now, Nicholas McLean, Mr. Nicholas McLean. I think
Nicholas
legal
McLean is elected chairperson, not the president.
Okay, who is vice president?
Maureen, Miss Maureen.
Okay. And what about the governing council elections?
Do they need that one also?
Of course, governing council is the main body of.
Yeah, governing council.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like that, anybody can ask level 1 question, n number of questions from anything. How many professional group seats are there? Yes, of course, these kind of questions came in UK. That's why UK is the toughest place to get through APC assessment.
But I think we need to know who is the president, acting president, and vice president. No,
it is not even mandatory. Nobody can fail you for level 1 questions. That is for sure. If you are doing level 3 well and good,
I thought this is
and
because
you don't even remember 5 rules of conduct, then of course it is questionable. But it is not questionable. What is the first name of the president, middle name of the president? This is not important.
But sometimes they ask, this who is the president?
No, that is what they are asking repeatedly. RICS insisting and each and every what we can say this assessor refresher thing that you should not dwell into too much of level 1 questions, which is knowledge. Knowledge can be referred and improved, or if at all important to you, then you will go and fetch them. Otherwise, it is not record to be memorized. A professionality is decided by memorizing something.
Some question we have, I received matrix, motto, RICS motto, RICS matrix. Like this question also asking.
No, matrix, you can say what is matrix. Yes, of course, you should know. What is governing council? Yes, you should know. What is the regulatory board? You should know. You just know by system, not by how many seats are there, who is the in charge for matrix, who is the person representing the industry engagement, who is going with the educational engagement. All these things you don't need to worry about, because some of the people are responsible to go to the universities and colleges. Some of the people are in charge to go to meet the organizations, and there are CSR is there. So many things are there in the matrix. You don't need to worry about all those things. If they ask what is matrix, yes, of course, this is helping the young professional to get appropriate exposure and industry engagement and knowledge and to develop into professional for their betterment in the career.
I have one question.
Yes, please.
If they ask what is the RICS matrix, RICS decision tree, how will answer this one? Matrix decision tree, 2-3 decision trees are there, no? How will answer that?
2-3
Like
decision tree, but
that's
when they
CPD,
ask CPD is
ethical,
not about CPD is the CPD decision tree and
yeah,
ethics
CPD.
decision tree. You may ask him which decision tree you want me to tell.
Right.
You can say, yes, I know ethical decision tree and I know CPD formal informal decision tree. You can mention him. That is fine. Ethical decision tree, yes, of course, you should use that for taking the informed decision. That is the guidance for you to take informed decision or to provide reasoned advice. So before doing that one, you have to go through ethical decision tree. CPD decision tree, it is required to do the CPD record. So if your CPD record is not appropriate, they are going to refer you. Hello?
Hello.
Ravindra? Yes, please.
Yes. Now there's CPD decision tree, very easy. We can say this one, this two type of CPD we need to attend, the informal and formal.
Okay, formal, what are all the things are required to be formal?
Formal is like the structured CPD, like the RICS member, he will arrange.
Clear outcome should be there, and not RICS member, industry professional, anybody reputed professional, they can be there. Maybe they are professors or yes, it should be structured. Means what? There should be, for the duration, there should be clear outcome of the activity. That is the requirement. So it is mainly about the outcome. So that is being structured. So when it is structured, that means you know what you want to achieve through the activity. If it is not structured, that means unstructured, then you don't know. You just reading something or you just watching some video, even though it is by the RICS professional or anybody in the industry expert, it is not going to be clearly how you are going to complete it and what you are going to achieve it. Nobody going to verify it. So it has to be structured. Means what? There should be clear outcome and for the specific activity and the duration, and there should be interaction with the industry professionals, and the knowledge attained has to be verified. If all these three things are there, then that is formal clearly. If it is not, then of course it is not there. And in addition to that, it should be supporting to your core competencies and mandatory competencies, that is directly into your day-to-day practice. If something is there that is going too much into some other activities, but that may be related, that is not in your, like programming and planning. Maybe it is there for some of them, they have it in the optional competency. If you didn't select and you are mentioning programming and planning as your CPD activity, that cannot be a formal activity for you. So those kind of things also you have to take into consideration. Okay, just yes, please.
Ethical decision tree, how will explain like this? Some.
So when you are going to explain some decision taking or reasoned advice, you have to use this decision tree. The first thing is that you have sufficient information. So that is the question. So you have to take the
used decision tree.
Yes.
Ethical decision tree.
So you have to take those kind of things. If it is not sufficient to take action, you have to collect the information. So that is there in the ethics decision tree. So you have sufficient facts, that means details. And next thing is about the legal, whether it is legal or not. If you are sure, you can proceed. If you are unsure, you have to seek further information. Again, you have to check whether it is legal or not. And then is it in line with the RACL's rules of conduct? And then have you consulted with the appropriate people to make an informed decision? That means you have RACS matrix, which is you are using for consulted and responsible. So those kind of things you have to take.
I found one question. What is
Yes.
the new runoff cover? What is the update of new runoff cover? What is that one? I don't know what is the new.
What is
Yeah.
the new means?
That one question, what is the update of the new runoff cover? Previously we have runoff cover. Like this question I found some.
So what is the earlier one you are aware of?
Runoff cover we are using this solar practice designer is long-term
PI
leave.
insurance, professional indemnity insurance.
Yes, professional indemnity insurance, PII cover.
Yes, it is minimum 6 years required.
Yes.
So
what else
runoff
it
cover.
is? Yes, tell me. Yes, Ravindra.
Runoff cover means is when designers leave, designer consultant or they are leaving from the company, then they have to make sure it is they are covering the PI cover. If not PI cover, they need to take the runoff cover. No, they need to use
runoff cover is the extension of PI cover.
extension
Without
of
PI cover, you will not get directly something like a runoff cover.
Yes.
Runoff cover is the extension of PI cover, which is providing additional coverage during the period after the service provided.
Yeah.
So you are providing service. Now you are providing service. During the period, it is covered. Okay.
Yeah.
After that,
PI cover.
so how long you are going to cover? That is called a runoff cover. So runoff cover is the extension of PI insurance.
Yeah, extension of PI. How many, this one, how many years this one? Total PI cover is coming 6 years.
6 years. But
cover,
what they are mentioning? No. Runoff cover is the 6 years. PI is the insurance name. The duration required after the service. That means your construction duration is there. After the construction duration, your runoff cover has to be 6 years.
Yes. After completing the completion of the services.
Yes.
That PI
Even the
insurance 6 years,
retirement, right,
please.
sir?
Yes.
Even if you retired or your company
Yes.
stopped
Your
working,
company
so
stopped
everything.
working. You close the firm. Then also it has to be there active.
Exactly. And I can send it to you. There is a guidance. I forgot your name. I'm really sorry. I can pass through to the WhatsApp. You can read it. It's they are saying that 6 years and you have also retroactive runoff cover also. You know the past. That is the coverage, insurance coverage for the past.
Yes, it is there.
As per my contract, PI cover is up to 6 years. In as per my contract here.
But I'm asking you one question. Is it sufficient if you are providing structural design services in UAE? You are in UAE or where?
Qatar.
Qatar, okay. Qatar, you have decennial liability?
Decennial liability, yeah.
Yes, of
10
course.
years.
How long? 10 years. Now your runoff cover is for 6 years.
6 years.
You are getting decennial liability at how long?
PI cover is 6 years. Then runoff cover maybe that's other 4 years. Huh?
How?
In my contract, it is clearly mentioned PI cover.
Okay, PI cover. After that, you have 6 years runoff cover. If you are
as per my contract,
contract.
As per my contract, it is there clearly mentioned.
Hello, I think you become mute.
Okay. No, as per my contract, it is very clearly mentioned 6 years
I'm
from
just asking.
TOC.
Okay, you are mentioning 6 years from TOC.
This is design, yeah.
That is the design PI insurance. Okay.
Yes.
That is covering. Now I'm asking the question as per the decennial liability. You have 10 years.
10 years.
After the TOC.
It means then 4 years is the runoff cover. Like
no, let me complete the question.
Okay.
This decennial liability, even it occurs within 10 years, they can raise the claim within next 3 years. Okay, in the Middle East, this is the common. 10 years plus 3 years. So till the end of 13th year, they can raise the claim. So your runoff cover should cover until the 13th year. Otherwise, you will be in trouble. You have to pay from your organization's fund.
Is there
something
anywhere
goes
mentioned
wrong.
this duration? Is
Which
there anywhere
duration?
mentioned? Yeah, this runoff cover. But PI
Runoff
cover,
cover,
I
it
know
is
this one
not
it is mentioned.
mentioned. Runoff cover, it is mentioned in the RICS regulation, minimum 6 years. But it should be for your local requirement. If your government says decennial liability for 10 years and it allows you to raise the claim in the 13th year, then automatically you should keep it valid until that period. Otherwise, you will be in trouble.
Yes.
That is the thing. In case of structural stability, structural design details, this PI has to have, if you are having 6 years run of cover, the PI should cover at least 7 years. Then only 13 years it will be there.
RICS describes that minimum 6 years, the maximum no
Yes,
limit.
6
Minimum
years.
maximum
Yes.
they are not mentioning. Minimum 6 years.
EA
Yes.
insurance, yes, 6 years only mentioned.
And the amount should not be reducing. It should be the same amount
Yeah.
for all the 6 years, for the whole period. You cannot reduce the amount in between, because some of them they are doing PI cover and then they reduce the amount for runoff cover. You should not do that. Okay, let us just go through some questions from, I think anybody is there for project management other than Dennis? Okay, this will be helpful to cover in other things also if you are using. What are all the common methods used to measure team performance in construction? Dennis, would you want to tell something? How do you measure the team performance?
Through KPI source, so
Yes,
key
of
indicator performance.
Yes, key performance indicators. And when you go for some progress tracking and all, you can use the milestone also as your KPI. That is well and good. When you
Tuckman
go for
team
communication,
development.
yes,
Tuckman
team development.
Tuckman team development mechanics.
Yes, that is also covered in there. Is common for this level 1 question. It can come in the team development also. Describe various leadership styles.
I can, sir, if you
Yes,
wish.
please. Yes, please.
Autocratic, democratic, laissez-faire, coaching, situational. That I am
Okay.
aware of.
Okay.
Shall I
Yes,
explain
that is
also?
well and good. No need to explain.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
this is level 1 question. When you go for level 2, would you be able to describe a situation where did you mediate a conflict within your project team? What steps did you take and what was the outcome? You have to, yes, please, because
Okay.
you are the first person for these questions.
Exactly. I don't think, sir, nobody is doing, as project manager, nobody is doing RSCS. Basically,
Yes,
they do
but
PMP or
these kind of
CIB.
things, it is covered in
Exactly.
team dynamics and team
Yes,
development,
it
as
is.
well as communication and negotiation, it is covered. So that is also at level 2. So these questions, they will get there if they have time. So
Yeah,
it is good
I can
to know
explain.
for everyone. Yes, please.
So, as per my experience, one time that I discovered the lead designer lack of, so he had a lack of design involvement and also awareness of the client's brief. So, so to address this, I basically first discuss with him face to face and to explain the situation, and then so I adapt my leadership style from democratic to autocratic one. So I gave direct, clear instructions what he needs to deliver according to our stages, and he should be aligned with our client's objectives. So face-to-face meetings, and he should be accountable for their actions. However, despite this, this lead designer, when they delivered the design package, they didn't meet the client's objectives. So then I had to follow the contractual route, which was, it was a global master service agreement with this global designer. So basically I failed the KPIs and provided to the senior management.
That is well and good. Anything, Joshi, you want to add something?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, it's fine. Okay, another one question, it is commonly asked. How you actively fostered a high performing team culture? Because this is also comes under the team dynamics. When you are doing team development,
We can use the team.
Yes, team development like
well-being team roles.
dynamics.
We can use the well-being team role, no?
Of course.
Resource investigator, social role and thinking role, action and task role.
Yes.
9 roles is the well-being team role.
Okay.
Do we need to explain this one? Resource.
Of course. Yes.
Resource investigator and team maker and coordinator. This one social role. Then thinking role, plant, mediator, evaluator, specialist. That thinking role. Shaper, implementer, completer, finisher. Then action role. No?
Yes. Okay, these are the things. How do you use this for high performing? Okay, you will not get this in level 2 or level 3 questions. That is good. You gave detailed. Dennis, you want to add up to this? How do you build this different roles into building a high performing team or any other strategic approach?
I have a team, sir, but usually I keep regular face-to-face meetings with my team, and I provide constructive feedback to them, and I try to encourage them and give them motivation. And if they tackled, I am always there to support them. Basically, these are my let's say tactics. So how to keep the team performance. Of course, we have internally KPIs also, but this is majorly like we keep always one-to-one meetings with them. And if they tackle, I support them and give constructive feedback. I'm just thinking out loudly, sir, at the moment. What am I doing? My daily job.
Okay.
Yeah, basically these are the most things that I do.
Okay, that is well and good.
We can use statement team development, no? Performing, storming, norming, storming, norming, performing and adjourning.
Yes, it is there, but it is mainly for the performing stage. How do you maintain the high performance? How do you foster the high performance? Because we came to performing stage now. Okay, there is another question, particularly for you have the forming and there is storming always. Even the experienced people, they get into this space, this stage, storming. How do you manage them? Anybody? Yes, Dennis?
Sir, I didn't understand. The storming or is depressive?
Storming. Because you have forming, after that storming.
Oh, I am not aware of this.
You know about the team development stages, team building stages?
That storming stage, team have different opinion and working style, no? Then classes.
Yes, that's what. So how do you manage them? That is the question. They have different opinion because some of them, they may have worked together in previous projects. Someone coming from other project now, or someone appointed new, or someone has different language barrier or background, and it is difficult to get through the storming stage. Otherwise, norming is the stage when you achieve from forming to norming, because once you manage safely through the storming stage, then only you will get into norming stage. Then you will normalize and make them clearly understand their responsibilities and goal, common goal, everything. But before that, you have to make them as a team. So this team, already they have difference of opinion and they just want to define themselves or prove themselves they are better than others. Something like that.
We can do like this. Encourage open communication, resolve conflict and this conflict stage, proper communication. encourage the open communication.
Yes, we can encourage the open communication, but what is the thing like a cohesion? What I gave example, like some of them they worked already together in previous projects and they came here. Now they are like a team. They know each other very well, but some of the members are new in this team. So how do you get them involved with each other? It is open communication and all. When you have certain things, yes, of course, open communication. But if there are nothing
Promote
else to be provided, how do you promote those things? That is the thing. Promoting means
team.
how do you promote? Implementing, you have to explain in steps.
That's a very good question, sir. I am not aware. So could you please explain? I'm really curious. I didn't come across.
Because you
We
have to, what we can say, like team engagement, you have to bring more opportunity to get them together, like team building exercise, like what you have
Okay.
one
Yeah,
sort
yeah, yeah.
of weekend lunch
Arrange
before the
drinks
end of the
for the
week.
team.
Yes, yes. So you have to bring them and let them be involved together
Okay.
more time relaxedly without having their regular duty or work pressures. Let them engage. So you will have common things to discuss and have some time to chat and develop. Those kind of things you have to arrange. Like maybe you plan some lunch or breakfast meeting.
main thing
Those
is
kind of
open
things.
communication, no?
No,
Actually,
open communication is something else. Open communication
okay.
is you are allowing everyone to speak in a meeting or in a thing. But this is not open communication. This is a breakfast meeting and a lunch meeting and all. It is team building or some other leisure activity. Okay, you can go for some sporting or some picnic, whatever is possible to make them come together. So those kind of things outside the regular working environment. Of course, when they come, you are giving them what is their roles and responsibilities. You are defining them with the matrix, scope matrix, work matrix, and you are mentioning what sort of measurements, performance measurements you are going to do to them, who is their manager, whom they have to report it, what is expected from this. Everything you are giving in their appointment order and delegation letter you are giving in detail. So other than that, how do you make them mingle with others? This is cohesiveness. Cohesiveness, team dynamics, you have to bring by extra activities that is not pressurized by work environment. So you have to keep them somewhere relaxed and allow them to interact with each other. Maybe some team building activities are there. You can use them appropriately, which is suitable to your own environment. Not everything. I'm telling picnic. You don't need to plan picnic to go everywhere, or even you can have some sporting event, whichever is possible to you. That is up to you. So these kind of things are usually done at the storming stage to reduce the some kind of non-cohesiveness. Yes.
Conflicts, huh?
Yes, yes, complexities between their behavior. It is not about their skill and ability. They do their work very good. But how do they work with others? That is important. Okay. And I think we have run over the time more than what we planned. Anything you want to ask particularly, we can discuss.
Sir, is there any chance that if I can send my summary of experience
Yes,
to
please.
populate
You can
questions?
send. I will prepare question and share back to you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. I will share it tonight.
Okay.
Please share me
Because,
also this mobile number. I want to get question from you.
sure, sure. If you are there in the WhatsApp group, I think you can get it there. Or otherwise, I will forward it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, welcome. Someone was asking, can we have the lecture notes and the lecture recording? Because last session I already uploaded and shared in the group, as well as I shared to some of them who gave the email. Did you receive those things? It is there in the WhatsApp group, and some of them I sent
Sir, how can
through.
we join to the? Yes, YouTube recording you have sent, sir, in group. It is we have received YouTube.
Yes,
on
yes,
YouTube.
that one I send, and again I send one question bank to go through all the skill set which is covered under the commercial management.
Just now we received today
Yes,
you
yes,
posted.
I shared just before this, and
Yes,
I
that we
sent
received.
to some of you by email who shared email IDs previous session. Dennis, did you receive email?
No, sir. I only received WhatsApp, your messages, and YouTube also.
Okay, because I sent the email from my Gmail, so you should have received, or maybe check your spam folder.
Yes, I will do that, sir.
Please check
No problem.
because I sent to the same email ID.
Yes, I saw it now. It's it's stuck in the spam. Yes.
Okay, because
Okay,
there
thank you
is
so much. Yes.
the questions which I had for managing projects I shared to
Yeah.
you.
Thank you so much. Yes, I saw it now.
I will share this set of questions also which I have with today's one, and the previous sessions also I will share, but one by one. So I have to prepare and forward. I will do that.
I'm sending now, sir. Thank you.
Okay. This WhatsApp invitation I shared here. I think someone asked, Rashid, I think you asked for WhatsApp group link. I forwarded this. So you can join to the WhatsApp group. Otherwise, whom? This Ravindra, I think you are from Qatar. Ravindra?
Yes, I am from Qatar.
Okay, because you put your mobile number without country code. That's why I asked. Okay.
Qatar. Because I'm supposed to face the interview this May.
Yes,
I want to get
I
some
will
question.
share
Because
whatever is there. Sure. I
you
will.
are giving some question this some other way. That's why this one good for me, I think.
Okay, because whatever questions I am preparing, this is like a thought process. You will develop understanding like that I am preparing. Some maybe they like what sort of questions you are mentioning. Yes, of course, there are so many level 1 questions, but all those things you can cover everything and memorize. No, that is impossible. So what is the main thing is like your level 3, you have to focus at level 3 and level 2, that is from your own experience. Okay, if we don't have further anything to discuss now, we can call this a day. Good night, have a rest of weekdays, and we will see in the next session.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
I have one
Thank
question.
you.
What is the RICS consent?
Consent?
Yeah.
RICS consent.
What is the RICS consent order? I received like this question. What is the RICS consent? CONCENT order. What is the RICS consent order? Like this question?
In
I
which
found ethics under
in the
ethics.
ethics?
Yeah.
Sir, maybe it is informed consent?
Consent.
No. It is informed consent means
order.
Compliance order, because when you have regulated firm and members, if you are not following the requirements, like you have to follow 20 CPD hours, and you have to provide the information whenever required by the RACS. If you don't follow those things, you will be sent consent or compliance order. That is usually called the compliance order. This complaints order, some of them they are mentioning like consent order. This is basically it's a compliance. You have to regulatory compliance.
Then better regulation. What is the better regulation? RICS better regulation.
Better regulation. It is before going to the full regulatory, you will get the better regulation.
No, I didn't get
that.
That
it is not in full implementation.
Then how will answer this one? What is RICS better regulations?
No, that's what these and all, it is coming under the compliance. When you give one regulatory, like one company or organization, they just want to become regulated firm of RICS. Okay. In that case, if the RICS, they are giving some of the guidance. Okay. So they have to follow. So in this area, they will give some instructions like you have to improve here, you have to change this, you have to make this facility. Those kind of orders are beta. That means it is going to be considered for your full regulation, like you before you become regulated by RACS, they will give the beta regulations, which is particularly for your organization. You need to improve them. Is it clear or still confusing?
It's still confusing, this one.
No,
I
this
said
is all
somewhere
about
that
no, you don't get these things like in detail, because these are the things are when it comes to the like most probably these real estate agencies, or they are getting this, not for quantity surveying agencies. Quantity surveying agencies don't get these kind of things, because this beta, it is especially for UK residential real estate agency. And I don't know this kind of questions from where you are getting to you.
one of RSCS member I got from this one RSCA member this question.
Because yes, of course, that's what I am telling. This is,
I think just to know this one, what is this? No, this is the thing.
yes, because this is about regulatory firms. When you are applying for regulatory firms, they will come and check your office procedures and the setup and the insurance availability, and how do you are doing feedback mechanism, how do you are doing public, so those kind of things they will take into consideration, and they will give you some improvement requirements in your organization to achieve this regulated by RACS certification or approval. So those things are called usually beta, but that is not coming in usual category of quantity surveying or cost consultancy firms. That is coming especially mainly for UK residential real estate, where so many things are mandatory to achieve that agency. So because now, as you mentioned, our president, he is having some case now.
Yes.
So those kind of things, when they are valuing the residential buildings, so many things they have to do. They have lots of difficulties in such an agency, especially in real estate. Not for quantity surveying. Quantity surveying, if it is very limited, and if you have clear PI cover, runoff cover, that is sufficient. There won't be much more than that. So those kind of like orders, instructions, or recommendations provided by RACS to a specific organization to improve in order to achieve regulated status, that is called beta.
Okay. I got now idea.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, see you all in the next session. Good night.
Good night, sir. Good night,
Very
sir.
nice
Thank you
week.
very much.
Good night. Yes, Dennis.
Sorry, sir. I wanted to clap,
So good night.
but I
Okay,
raised my
sorry.
hand. Sorry.
It's fine. Thank you.
Thank you so
so
much. Thank you.